You ever find yourself in one of those moments where everything you've planned just doesn't pan out? That's where I found myself, Kiyotaka Ayanokoji, not too long ago. You know me as the guy who's always one step ahead, but even I hit a snag that knocked me off my game. It made me wonder, what does it take to stage the most epic comeback? Not just bouncing back, but coming back stronger, smarter, and unbeatable. It's not about proving a point to anyone else. It's about proving something to yourself. Can you really turn things around when it feels like you've hit rock bottom? Let's find out together. So there I was, at a crossroads, questioning my every move for the first time. It's a strange place to be, especially for someone like me who's used to having all the answers. But it's in these moments, right, that you really start to see what you're made of. I had to take a hard look in the mirror and ask myself, Kiyotaka, is this it? Or is there more to you? It was clear I needed to shake things up, rethink my strategies, and maybe, just maybe, learn a thing or two about myself in the process. It wasn't about reinventing the wheel, but about fine-tuning it to roll smoother, faster, better. How do you even begin to dismantle and rebuild something as complex as your own approach to life's challenges? Well, that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? The game was on, and it was time to plot the grand comeback. Now, laying out a strategy isn't new to me, but this time, it had to be different, deeper, with no room for error. I started mapping out my goals pinpoint by pinpoint, like a chess player plotting moves in a high-stakes game. It wasn't just about academic scores or outmaneuvering my peers this time. It was personal growth, pushing my own boundaries. What skills did I need to sharpen? Where had I gone wrong before? And most importantly, how could I ensure I wouldn't make the same mistakes again? It was like setting up dominoes. Each piece had to be perfectly aligned for the final picture to emerge victorious. And believe me, when you start asking yourself these questions, you're already halfway to the answer. But the real test? That's putting those plans into action. Rolling up my sleeves, it was time to dive into the heart of the comeback. Strategy is one thing, but execution? That's where the real challenge lies. Day in and day out, I dedicated myself to the grind, turning plans into actions. Whether it was hitting the books with a new intensity, sharpening my social strategies, or even pushing my physical limits, I was all in. Discipline became my closest ally. Skipping a study session or a workout wasn't an option, not anymore. It's funny, how when you're truly committed to something, what used to feel like sacrifices now just feel like steps on the path to victory. Every early morning, every late night study session, it all started to build momentum. And with each small win, the bigger picture began to crystallize. This wasn't just about getting back to where I was. It was about reaching heights I hadn't even considered before. Just when you think you've got it all figured out, life throws a curveball, right? Obstacles started cropping up, testing every ounce of my resolve. It wasn't just the academic hurdles or the physical challenges. The real battles were the unexpected ones. Doubts from within, skepticism from those around me, and the ever-looming shadow of past failures. But here's the thing about obstacles. They're not roadblocks. They're stepping stones, each one a lesson in disguise. I learned to pivot, to adapt, to look at each new challenge not as a setback, but as a chance to prove my mettle. It's in these moments, in the heat of adversity, that your true character is forged. And mine? Well, it was becoming clearer with every hurdle I overcame. The journey was shaping up to be more than just a comeback. It was a metamorphosis. And then, one day, I looked back and hardly recognized the road I traveled. The transformation wasn't just evident in my grades or my physical stamina. It was in my demeanor, my approach to problem solving, and my interactions. Success, as it turned out, wasn't just about reclaiming my position. It was about surpassing my own expectations. Those goals I had meticulously mapped out, I had not only met them, but exceeded them in ways I hadn't imagined. It was as if each obstacle had not only tested me, but also taught me, making me stronger, wiser, more resilient. The feeling of triumph wasn't just because I had proven my capabilities to my peers or the faculty. It was because I had proven to myself that with the right mindset, discipline, and strategy, the possibilities were limitless. This journey, this comeback, it wasn't the end, it was just the beginning. The real victory was in the person I had become through this relentless pursuit of excellence. As I stood at this new pinnacle, the view was certainly different, but it was the introspection that truly changed the landscape. Reflecting on the journey, it was clear that every stumble, every challenge, was a crucial part of the journey, shaping me into who I had become. But what does one do when they reach their summit? They look for the next peak to conquer. The lessons learned weren't just for overcoming past hurdles. They were blueprints for future endeavors. The discipline, the strategy, the resilience. These were tools I'd carry forward, not just in academic pursuits, but in every aspect of life. The question now wasn't if I could face what was to come, but how far I could go. The comeback was complete, but the journey, it was just getting started. With a horizon full of possibilities, the only thing left to do was to take that first step into the unknown, armed with the knowledge that the greatest challenges bring the greatest transformations. So there you have it. The blueprint to not just making a comeback, but rewriting your story on your terms. It's about more than just bouncing back. It's about leaping forward into a future you've crafted with your own hands. If this journey resonates with you, if you're on the brink of your own comeback, then let's keep the conversation going. Drop a comment below, share your thoughts, your challenges, or even your victories. And if you're looking for more insights, strategies, or just a bit of motivation, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Together, let's turn the page to the next chapter of our stories.